Hey everyone, how you doing today? My name is Katie Stice, President CEO at the amazing Rancho Mirage Chamber of Commerce, and today we're bringing you Seeds of Hope video series to introduce you to amazing local business professionals, nonprofit executives, you name it, all coming on just to share a little bit about themselves, their adventures. But if you're watching, just give a little thumbs up, say hello, let us know where you're watching from. And while you do that, we are bringing out our guest today. I'm pretty sure a lot of you already know Julie Dill Buehler. We love her. And if you don't know her, well, Julie, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Katie. It's an honor to be here with you today,
Uh,
especially after Super Bowl Sunday.
Hey, okay. But truth be told, for everyone who's out there listening and watching, before we went live, we were like, I mean, yes, we're going to share some seeds of hope, but we have to talk about that game. So, Julie, you spent many, many years in sports broadcasting. Tell us what you thought about the game yesterday.
Well, obviously, the Chiefs had history on the line, attempting to do something no team in NFL history had even attempted to do. And so it was heartbreaking from a historical standpoint that they were so woefully unprepared to do so. And it was a total blowout of a game. And yet,
Mhm.
the majority of the NFL audience was probably a little happy to see that because there's a certain fatigue effect that happens with NFL franchises when they just get so good for so long. And that's what was
Yeah.
happening with the Chiefs. So
Yeah.
it was kind of best case scenario. We didn't get the history we were looking for, but we did get a new team hoisting the Lombardi, and that's always exciting.
It really was. I was just starting to share with you earlier. I really was kind of going into it rooting for both teams. So, first and foremost, I know, please, this might be cringeworthy, but I'm a Taylor Swift fan. So, kind of anything she's doing, I'm excited about. I was excited for that, but I was excited. I thought, a triple win would have been cool. But I also love those underdog stories. I think it's always exciting. And when they were introducing the teams, I loved how people just roared for the Eagles. I mean, you could just feel it. So they played like champs. They are champs. They did great.
Man, and that defense, what a performance from the Philadelphia Eagles defense. And this is the thing. So many people talk about the offense in football games because of
Yeah.
fantasy football and it's easier to watch. But man, that Eagles defense was phenomenal and my favorite part of the game. Even more favorite than the commercials.
So it's funny you say that. I was watching something. I don't know if again, I'm newer to sports. This is your jam. This is your wheelhouse. But I was actually surprised by the size of the guys on the Eagles. I mean, they were gigantic. They almost looked like they could eat one of the Chiefs players. I mean, they were huge. Was that just me or is that true?
No, it's literally the largest offensive line in NFL history. And they actually did a comparison to the first Super Bowl. And the guys
Okay.
nowadays weigh almost
Yeah.
100 pounds more than they did during Super Bowl one. So it's
All right.
no one's imagination. These are
All
massive,
right.
mountainous men.
All right, it wasn't just like my HD TV. It was real.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I always appreciate hearing about sports from you just because I know it is such a passion of yours. And man, the way that you observe, watch, share, and then like educate is always so cool. But welcome to our Seeds of Hope video series. We always thought you would be a perfect guest for this just because you are so inspiring. But one of the first things we want to hear from you too is how you got into this marketing field. You've been in marketing, from those broadcast days to now at Spectrum Reach, really helping local businesses with their marketing. How did you get into this industry and what inspires you about it?
It actually started telling stories about sports and telling so many stories and really recognizing the key elements that make a story resonate with people beyond their sports fandom or not. And then when I decided to leave that media career and just go into the civilian life, like I say, I knew that telling stories would still be a huge part of my career. And so now I just help business owners discover those key elements in their story that will help them reach new fans for their business. And so it kind of is amazing to me that it's actually very similar as far as a skill set is concerned. You look for the key nuggets and you help communicate that. And it's storytelling 101 for sports or for business. So that's been a really fun thing to discover for me over the past few years.
I love that. And you're so good at what you do. I think you really pay really close attention. You're a good listener. You pay close attention to what those business owners are saying, what they're feeling, what they're needing, what they're wanting. But you're also really good at, I think, identifying what they're really good at and being able to share that. So, what about a time when things got challenging for you? Is there a time where you had a challenge that you had to overcome? Like, what would you want to share with us about that?
I think the biggest plot twist in my life has been becoming a mom in my 40s. And
Yeah.
so, it really helped me evaluate the question of, is this easy or is this hard? Right? Because you hear how hard things are all the time. And I think that my biggest takeaway from the challenge of motherhood, the challengehood of marriage and life expanding in such a dramatic way over a short amount of time is that the conversation of easy versus hard really doesn't do us justice, because
Mm,
through any journey there are points that are challenging and very hard, and then there are points that are pretty easy, and that's really subjective. And so if somebody is going through a time that is relatively easy and you ask them, how's your journey going, they're
mhm,
going to give you an easy answer, right? And the opposite is true. If they're going through a really hard time of that journey, they're going to say, man, this is really hard. So I've been encouraging myself to flip
mhm.
that script and not say, is this hard or is this easy, but say, is it doable? Let's
Yes.
evaluate whether or not it's doable. And when you do that, it's like,
Mhm,
oh, okay, it doesn't matter if it's easy or hard.
mhm.
For me, for someone else, for anyone else, is it
Yeah.
doable? And then I was thinking, well, what are the three most important things to evaluate to
Mhm.
understand if it's truly doable? Like, there has to be an honest accounting of this, right? We can
Yeah.
get wrapped up into so many things and get overwhelmed pretty easily. So the number one thing is, do I have time? Like, is this doable? Do I have time? Or do I have to make time for it to make
Mhm,
it doable? And that's an honest conversation to have within ourselves. And then I
mhm,
think the second one that's really important too is, do I have the will to do this? And
mhm.
that's, I don't think we ask ourselves that specific question enough, because I'll give you a personal example. Like, I used to be very social. I used to be very active in the social scene, but
Yeah.
Katie, I don't have the will to do that anymore. I
Yeah.
want to be home with my family. And
Yeah, your
no
life's
offense to,
changed. Yeah.
yeah, no
No.
offense to all the wonderful colleagues out there and all the amazing adults, but
Yeah.
my 1 year old girl's pretty cool and my
Yeah.
husband's pretty fun. So, like, I recognize I don't have the will to do those
Yeah.
things. And I think
Yeah.
just being honest with ourselves about that. Maybe
Yeah.
it's totally different. Like, do I have the will to work 70 hours a week for this project? Or
Mhm,
do I
mhm.
have the will to say no to pasta to lose weight? Like, all those things, right? I think just an
Yeah.
honest accounting of our will helps us set those
Yes.
boundaries and move forward. And then
Love
the
that.
third thing
Mhm,
um, is, do I have the skill? Because I think that,
mhm,
like, will is one thing and skill's another. And so being able to honestly evaluate whether or not something's doable according to your time, your will, and your skill will help us tackle any challenge and
wow.
alleviate that, is it easy, is it hard, subjectivity,
Yeah.
and yeah, move forward.
Love that. Love that. It really does kind of break that down when you look at challenges and you look at them in a whole new way. And I feel like you've always been very good about mindset. To me, that kind of helps you shift that mindset or really make some small changes to get somewhere in particular as far as mindset goes, which really can make all the difference, whether that's every day when you wake up and doing little tasks or really big life changing decisions as well. I just love that. I love how you break it all down. Well, what about a seed of hope? You have a little seed of hope, a little nugget you want to throw out there to everybody today?
Yes, that anything is doable when we have
Mm,
the will. And so
Mm.
anything is doable. And that's, I think, so cool to be able to shift my perspective from having been a fairly career driven woman for so much of my life, and now balancing home and family and work and business, and just recognizing that anything is doable. Like, there are no limits.
I
We
love
just
that.
have to be able to balance things out and know where those parameters make the most sense.
Well, Julie, you are always an inspiration. Truly, we have you come speak at the marketing summit. We've had you on different video series through the years, like this one. And I see you out in the community speaking and lifting others up. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you for obviously being a member of our chamber, but really you are a community leader and you do such good work. And you are a great fit to have on this series just because you're always like even your smile, you're always just shining through. So we so appreciate you. For everyone who's out there watching, I'm sure you know Julie, so say hello in the comments. But if you don't, her information is also down below. She's a great community connector. She inspires. She's a leader. Reach out and chat with her a little bit about marketing for your business, your nonprofit organization, or just community in general, because she's an expert at that as well. And thank you, Julie, for joining us today. We always appreciate you.
Thank you, Katie. I learned it all by watching you. So that's all I'm going to say.
I think we watch each other. We definitely watch each
100%.
other.
100%.
All right, friend.
Yes,
I'll look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks again, and tell your little one I'll say hello.
will do. Thank you. Bye bye.
All righty. See you soon. And thanks so much for joining us again. We always enjoy just bringing you seeds of hope and inspiration from our community. And that's where this even the name of the series came from. We know that our community is just so full of inspiration and motivation for all of you. And I felt like going into this year, we could sure use that. So I also have a book, one of these Maxwell books. And my seed of hope for you is all about the value of teamwork. It says, place a high value on teamwork instead of achievement, and you will receive not only teamwork, but also achievement. And isn't that the truth? When you can focus on your entire team, where you're going, what you're doing, making sure everyone feels supported, that we're all going in the same direction, achievement truly happens after that. So be sure to focus on your team today. Achievement will then follow. If there's any way that I can support you, your business, your nonprofit, please let me know. That's what your Chamber of Commerce is here for. We're happy to be of help and support. We'll see you all soon. Take care.